Hey guys, the Chicken is here back today with another home gym video. In today's video, guys, what I wanted to talk about was some things that I was wrong about going into having a home gym. So I think when you first start building your gym and you get very excited because you're thinking about all the ways it's going to benefit you, right? It's like I'll be able to work out more, I'll be able to work out longer, it's going to be easier, and sure, some of that stuff is probably right on the money. There are some misconceptions about having a home gym, and I think this goes in with the biggest downside overall. Sorry, I got something in my mouth. The biggest downside overall of having a home gym, and that is, it depends on each person, but I think it goes in either the workouts themselves, your motivation to train, or maybe your discipline. I don't know exactly how we can categorize it, but it's definitely. If you're somebody that's already kind of slouching on your workouts a little bit, that doesn't really, get most of the work done that you should be doing, sometimes you leave the gym early, et cetera, maybe a home gym isn't the right answer for you because you have all those temptations with no judgment, right? Like you can stop your workout at any point. It's just you. Nobody's gonna know. Plus, you gotta come inside. You gotta walk past the couch. You gotta walk past the beer fridge. You gotta walk past everything else that is calling your name when you get home from a long day of work. But what I've found, the best way to kind of counter that, the best way to get through that is to just whatever your focus is, just to get going and get started. Even if it's like I'm gonna do 15 minutes and then quit. Once you get moving, then you're fine. That's what I've always found, anyways. It's like once I get moving, I warm up a little bit. It's getting to that point that's always the hardest part. It's getting to the warm up and it's like, I don't want to do this. You get warm up, you get moving, get the tunes going if you need them. Then you can kind of work past them. But it is tough. It is tough some days for sure, because it's very easy to, my gym is in my basement, which I'm sure some of you guys out there probably have the same thing. So I can just shut the door. I don't have to walk by it. I don't even know it's there, It's different, I guess, if you're literally walking past it, if your gym is in your kitchen or something strange. But hey, no judgment here. Whatever works for you. But yeah, so definitely the workout motivation, I think I would put that as kind of number one. And I think number two, I'm going to make these points and I'm going to try to counter them just to give you guys both sides. Then I want to hear from you guys in the comments if this is something you either experience yourself, or B, if you have other, different ways that you go about dealing with it. So the second thing I would say, we talked about workout motivation. I think when everyone gets a home gym for the first time, they assume they're going to be, working out 7 days a week. And I think a lot of this also comes back to programming, to just do workouts whenever you want and just exercise. If that's what you want to do, that's cool. But I think it's a lot more beneficial to have a stuck program and if you can have days where it's this, it can be an extra day, I can do extra stuff or I can not do extra stuff if I'm feeling beat up. I think that's a great way to go about having a home gym, because there are days where it's man, I feel fresh, I want to do bench press, because who doesn't want to do bench press when they're feeling good? So there's definitely days like that, but I think if you can work them into your program, so it's it's an A-B day or whatever, it's I got an extra upper body day, just accessories if I want to do it. Or the opposite, lower body, if you want to do some extra leg work or something like that. I think it's good to have those as potential days. But the idea of I'm going to be able to work out 7 days a week, I'm going to be able to do so much more extra work, I wouldn't say that's necessarily true. And if it is, maybe at first, and you might get burnt out over time and kind of go back to what you were previously doing at your old gym, if you went to a gym or whatever your setup was before this. Because I feel with people in general, you kind of just do what you've always done. And sometimes we get stuck in that mindset of, if I had this, I'd be cool. If I won the lottery, I'd be working out 7 days a week. I'd fix my diet. I'd fix my, my addiction, my whatever it is that you're struggling with. It's man, if I just didn't have all this bullshit to deal with and I had this thing, X, Y, Z. And I feel that kind of goes hand in hand with consumerism in general a little bit. It's Even, I don't know, just random stuff. It's like if I get this really expensive vacuum, I'm gonna want to clean my house more. And it's like, yeah, maybe that's true for a little bit, but you know, if you don't ever vacuum and you don't like doing it, like you're probably just gonna end up, you know, not doing it again. And I think that kind of goes hand in hand with home gym stuff because, you know, it's like, even I make that mistake sometimes. It's like, oh, if I get this, then, you know, I'll do that exercise or I'll work on that body part that I don't typically like doing as much, or at least it'll make it easier. And I mean, it's definitely true that it does help with that stuff. But again, it comes back to routine, it comes back to discipline, it comes back to your own, you know, motivation, whatever that ends up being. People like to talk about motivation and discipline and all that stuff. I mean, if you want to do it, you want to do it. It doesn't have to be anything, you know, crazy at the end of the day. It's just, if you want to get the work in, then you got to do it. And it's not fun, or otherwise everybody in the world would always work out, right? It's not usually an enjoyable thing. Some days it is. Most days it's not. Most days it's a slug. Most days it's a grind. Most days it sucks. But I feel like the home gym does help out with that kind of stuff. It does help out with, you know, even if for whatever reason, like I remember the gym that I went to, I had to drive a fairly, you know, not a super long distance, but it was 25 minutes there. So it adds up, you know, it adds up. And there was days that, you know, I was scheduled pretty much. It's like, okay, these days, you know, Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday, like those are my gym days. I'm going to be driving to the gym on those days, or the other way around. And it became tough to block off like that amount of time versus if you need to in a home gym, and it's just like, man, today, you know what, I'm not feeling it, I'm gonna skip it today, get some rest, I'm gonna hit it hard Saturday. Right here, you don't have to, you know, it kind of plays both sides. You don't have to necessarily be like, oh, I don't have an extra 2 hours today, I can't do it. But so it makes it easier, it makes it obviously more accessible, but you still have to, you know, you still have to want to do it. You still have to hold yourself accountable to a certain extent. You know, so it kind of all goes back to like programming and routine stuff and that kind of thing. But I feel like that's kind of a mindset that people get, like I said before, like not only with home gyms, but general like kind of consumerism overall. That's why we always say too, it's like before you know, do a crazy build, like, you know, like what I've got or what other people have on YouTube, just try a minimalist setup, see if it works for you, see if you like it. And if you don't have any issues and, you know, you can build on it from there, then that's great, that's perfect, that's all you need. Trying to think of other stuff that, you know, you think about in the home gym. I know I was supposed to talk about things that weren't good, but kind of a benefit. I would never have redone this space. It always just would have been a junky kind of storage area, and I wouldn't have really cared to make it nice because it's too small to be like a hangout area. You know, I'd never put like couches down here or something. It still gets fairly wet in the spring. So it is nice in terms of like general upkeep. It makes this a space that I want to keep clean and that I can actually, like, you know, put time and effort into, and, you know, make extra space for storage and that kind of thing, which I otherwise, I don't know if I'd be that motivated to do it. So it's kind of a random thing. I guess that's more specific to me, but yeah. So some things to think about if you're thinking about getting a home gym. So I hope you guys found that interesting. And if you have more thoughts, ideas, feedback, agree or disagree, let me know down below in the comments. Appreciate you guys. Catch you next one. Chicken out. Bang, bang.